What's up, y'all? We got the fifth update. Had to think for a second. The fifth update for the NBA 2K14 draft class. And of course, this is Kyle Anderson, UCLA. Probably shouldn't have said of course, because obviously we got to take the guys and make them look as good as we can. But this is Kyle Anderson, 6'9", 230 pounds. You saw I had him as a point forward, small forward. A lot of people think he can play point guard in the NBA. I think he can on the right team. You might have noticed the wingspan being really long. He has a 2.5 inch wingspan, so that's what that was. I'm starting something a little bit different on this particular episode of the draft updates. In case you want to kind of get an idea of where I'm getting these ratings from, I do a lot of stat research on top of having watched these guys play. And I kind of have some loose formulas that I use to take their collegiate stats and then transfer them to the how they would be in the NBA and as a rookie or whatever. Of course, it's not an exact science, as nobody really knows, but this is a loose, kind of a loose thing there. So you saw Kyle Anderson's statistics there. So if you saw the shooting, and you might have thought, maybe some people might have thought the shooting was a little high, but this dude is having an awesome year, man. He's like a threat for a triple-double every single night. I didn't want to overblow his rating because he is not a great athlete. He's just an okay athlete. That's why they call him slow-mo. So he ended up with the 78 overall, as you saw there at the bottom of the screen too. So that, to me, based off of his statistics and what I've seen of him play and kind of scaling that back for the NBA, I got him rated as a 78, man. And I really, that's going to jump out, and that's going to be one of the highest rated rookies in this class. But man, I'm telling you, Kyle Anderson can ball, man. And he because of his size, at 6'9", playing like a point guard. Now, keep in mind, you might be saying, well, on defense, he's going to be in trouble. He will be in trouble to a certain degree, but he's not going to be guarding point guards. He's not going to be guarding point guards. In the NBA, he'll be guarding small forwards, some power forwards in certain situations, and maybe a two guard depending on who the team is he's playing. You'll hardly ever, if ever, see him on a point guard. So that's just the different things that coaches can do with substitutions. So, but because of what he can do in terms of seeing the floor, passing, his improved jump shot, the dude, I'm telling you, you gotta watch this guy. Next up is Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Now, if you're wondering if this is Giannis Antetokounmpo's brother, absolutely it is. He's playing in the D League right now. He is raw, pretty raw. When I say raw, I don't mean like, man, that's raw. I mean, he's raw in terms of he needs to develop his skills a little bit, but he's a freak athlete. I had to up the wingspan a bit because his arms are long, hands big, not quite as big as Giannis, but big. He's actually, like I said, in the D League. I gave him a 69 overall rating, and that seems pretty high because he's pretty much looked at as a second round pick. And if you look at his shooting percentages, 3-point percentages, free throws, not high, right? But he's a freak athlete. I mean, he really is. He's only 6'7". He blocks shots big time because of his arms and his leaping ability. Very good on defense. Offense is where he's a little all over the place, but he can be a defensive presence immediately. I kind of almost want to compare him to a less refined Luke Richard and Bahamute, but even more athletic than him. He's not. I don't think he's ever going to be a star. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think he's ever going to be a star. You might have wondered why I gave him this type of dunk ratings and stuff. Well, there's video of him jumping over guys' heads and throwing it down. So that's just one small part of the game. Dunking looks nice, but it only counts for 2 points. So you can't go crazy with the dunking. But if we got to give somebody a rating give someone a dunk rating, and there's video of him jumping over somebody's head, I pretty much think that validates getting a high dunk rating. It validates having a high vertical rating and athleticism, period. The video you watch of him pretty much shows he's fast. He's fast. He's one of the faster small forwards you'll find. Great athlete. He just has to get the skill level aspect of his offense down from what I see. Moving on, the next guy up, let's look at actually some signature stuff from Thanasis Antetokounmpo. I just keep saying that name because I think I'm saying it right. So I feel like proud of myself because I'm saying a really long name correct. So I'm gonna keep saying it. Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Thanasis. Well, if I'm saying it wrong, somebody tell me, but I think it's Thanasis. I think it is. So let's just take a look at the last little bits of his signature moves. Now you see the jump shot I got for him. I kept looking at the video of his jump shot, and it looked like this was about the closest thing I could come to it. Here's the dunk stuff, because yeah, we had to hook him up from a dunk standpoint, because I was impressed with what I saw from a leaping ability. He does not wear a headband, but you can't take headbands off of guys, so there that is. So if the guy has a headband on to start, that's what he's gonna have on. Moving on, Keith Appling, Michigan State point guard. Pass first, you know, he's scoring a little bit. I believe he's averaging like 14 a game. He's a 71 overall rating. Might be a little bit high. Might be a tad bit high, but I don't know. I think it's decent, because he is a very good on-ball defender. This tattoo cracked me up though. Detroit Pistons, they got a Houston Rocket tattoo they gave him. Like I said, you can't control any of that stuff. But the Pistons tattoo wasn't that crazy because he plays for Michigan State, so maybe. So I thought it was already decent. Boy, I love those pennies. Those pennies are beast. But yeah, so let's look at the ratings here, and also I'm going to throw his statistics up real quick. He's not an overly explosive athlete, but he's a 4-year player. His assist numbers are decent at 4.9. The steal numbers are consistent, and you know, coming from Tom Izzo, he's going to defend. He's going to defend. Very few guys that come from Michigan State don't defend. And Appling, that's probably, I think, at this point in his game, I think that's his best attribute. He's a good clutch player too. He's also a nice floor general. He'll never be a star. I don't see that ever happening. But I do think that he can be a productive player in the NBA for somewhere 5 to 10, 7 to 10 years. So that's what I tried to reflect here with him. And also, one thing to look at, potential. You saw his potential was an 80. That's pretty much where you would have to cap it out for Keith Appling based off what we've seen. Now, but if you remember the potential rating that I had up for Thanasis and Antetokounmpo, then of course that's a little bit higher because of his athleticism. And Kyle Anderson, his potential wasn't that high because of his lack of athleticism. Not being a great athlete drastically hinders your potential. It means that you're probably going to reach your ceiling quicker than a guy who's a beast freak athlete. Some guys that's a beast freak athlete never reach their potential. They just never pick up the other parts of the game or whatever, never commit themselves, whatever it is. But guys who are just okay athletes, there's only so good they're going to get, because they'll never have the part of the game that allows them to blow by guys off the dribble. They may have a hard time finishing close to the basket all the time or for the rest of their careers, a la like someone like Carlos Boozer, who is not explosive around the basket, or you know what I mean? So that sort of thing limits potential. So that impacted the ratings that I gave for potential. So I thought I'd throw in a little bit more context with the ratings moving forward. Now, if you're looking at the guys who I've already included in my updates and saying like, where's this guy, where's that guy, they're all coming if they're considered top 60, 65 type prospects. They're all going to come. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. I was kind of going in order of prospect at first. Now I'm kind of moving around, kind of doing it alphabetically. Something I just decided to do because when you're doing a long project like this, you can kind of get bored. So you just kind of switch some stuff up. As long as I get through everybody, it'll be fine. I'm loosely targeting before Selection Sunday in the NCAA tournament, which I believe is March 16th. So y'all stick with me, subscribe, follow. Peace.